Senators paused the nomination for a week so the FBI could investigate allegations of sexual misconduct against Kavanaugh. So KPIX 5's Phil Matier and I asked former San Francisco Mayor Willie Brown about that investigation.
Mayor Brown, we are going to hear for years to come about the FBI look into the history of Brett Kavanaugh and this. Is even the word investigation the right word to use on this?
Not at all. As a matter of fact, it's a misleading, because to investigate means, obviously, to check every possible source that might have some credibility and discard it. In this case, they went back to complete a report, and the report said, check these 6 people and give us your account. That's not an investigation. That's responding to a request.
Well, what's kind of confusing here, though, is who's directing this? Because it seems like the White House is saying, do whatever you want, and then there are reports that the investigation or the background check was curtailed, and it's not clear by whom. Like, who is telling the FBI who they can and can't and should and shouldn't investigate? We really don't know who's responsible for that.
You have been the target of investigations by the FBI in your past.
Really?
Yes, when he was in the state assembly, they had sting operations running, and
what a fake, really. I mean,
I am genuinely surprised.
What a fake! What a fake!
No, nothing that interesting happens in Sacramento anymore.
So you were the target of these, and sometimes you have to. If you don't set parameters, they'll just go on forever.
And they did. As a matter of fact, they still may be going on for all I know. So I'm going to be very careful, because I'm not interested in inviting anybody back. But it was wonderful, because at the end of my career, I got a call from a gentleman who had been a retired FBI, and he is a retired, and he said, I want to give you something. He gives me a cap. And I said, what is this? He said, look at it. And it had FBI. And I said, why is that? He said, I had the assignment, along with some other people, and we have 3 drawers, literally file drawers, of stuff about you. You are incredible.
She never got caught. All right.
That is something.
We're doing the movie.
All right, enough of this. Let's get on to some more serious news.
It's always a surprise what Willie's going to say. But also, I think Mitch McConnell, leader of the Senate Republicans, is now calling for an investigation into who leaked the Blasey Ford letter and information to begin with.
Similar protests erupted in major cities across the country. In Washington, hundreds crowded into the National Mall. Others stood on the steps of the Supreme Court and on the east side of the Capitol building. Demonstrations also happened in other cities, including Cleveland, Atlanta, and Austin. Meanwhile, President Trump celebrated at a rally in Kansas. He told the crowd that the bitter confirmation fight was the Democrats' fault.
Radical Democrats launched a disgraceful campaign to resist, obstruct, delay, demolish, and destroy.
There's so many millions who are outraged by what happened here. There's one answer: vote.
Now, demonstrators believe that allegations of sexual misconduct should have disqualified Kavanaugh from the high court, but there are some women who say they support him.
The reality is that our judicial system is based on the presumption of innocence.
Innocent until proven guilty. Innocent until proven guilty. Thank you for talking.
Kavanaugh won Senate confirmation yesterday by a vote of 50 to 48. A short time later, he was sworn in a private ceremony inside the Supreme Court building.
San Francisco Mayor London Breed said in a statement, the confirmation of Brett Kavanaugh to the Supreme Court is an insult to women and survivors of sexual assault. We should believe victims when they come forward, and their stories must always be more important than any political goals.
Republican Mitt Romney, who is running for Senate in Utah, tweeted this: I hope and expect that Judge Kavanaugh's excellent record on the second highest court in the land will be matched by his work on the highest court in the land.
So Phil Matier and I asked former San Francisco Mayor Willie Brown what this bitter fight over Justice Kavanaugh's confirmation says about the American electorate and divisions in society.
We are slowly but surely coming apart. At one time, you could actually run for office and you try to appeal to everybody. Now you start with the handicap of being identified in one category or the other, and you don't get a chance to talk to the whole constituency. That's a bad thing for this democracy.
We've got pictures now of people storming the Capitol, for lack of a better term. 300 people arrested just the other day. People being told and telling each other that it's a great idea to physically confront politicians where they eat, where they sleep, where they go to work, and it's becoming increasingly physical and confrontational as well, and that's scary.
And believe me, be careful riding in an elevator. If you get on an elevator and you see 2 other people, get off.
There is a question about who is more activated by this. We have women's group very vocal, and polls showing that. Question is, where are the men in this, Mayor Brown?
Totally and completely silent. Most men, other than Trump, would like to be the object of their wives and their daughters, confronting them and literally attributing to them the conduct of people like Weinstein and all the others who've been accused. So most men are trying their best to avoid ever getting on that elevator with 2 women.
But what are they going to do in the ballot box?
They're going to go in the ballot box and they're going to vote to affirm their fear. And that is, don't give them any more power.
So here's my prediction. The midterms, I think, are going to be a lot closer than people expect, because I think this battle in particular revved both sides up.
It seems like the polls are bearing that out, where sort of about a month and a half ago, there was a 10-point discrepancy between enthusiasm for Democrats, which was higher than enthusiasm for Republicans in the midterms. Now that gap seems to have totally closed. Republicans are also fired up, thanks to all this.